Welcome to this week's edition of The Passion of the Digital Artist. And here he is, that passionate digital artist himself, Jeff Mueller.
Boom! All right, Xavier.
All right,
That's
Jeff.
a good one. All right, how are you this week?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great after last night. Had a good time. Shout out to Connie and Joe coming over to your house, listening to some good music.
Joe Williams in Deepwater.
Yep. Well, that brings us to this week's edition. And this week's edition, we're going to go a little bit different. Still dealing with art, still dealing with pretty much myself as computer art man, Jeff Mueller, and just my life and what I've gone through over the past couple of years and the different paths that it leads to. My wife's uncle, Jim Balestrieri, is a writer, and we've collaborated on a couple things in the past, but his book was published, and we kind of discussed it at length about me doing the book cover for him, and we came up with a bunch of different ideas, and I was glad he asked me to do it. I was very excited. I was excited to do it because Jim and myself, throughout the years, have always gotten along and real well at the family get-togethers, and really, he's just a great person. He moved to Tarrytown, New York, when early on, and has been living there with his wife and kids and family. And just recently, with what I've been doing through fine art, we've kind of gotten back together, and we visited them and whatnot. So when he asked me to do the book cover, I was excited to do it. So the creative process that came through, and that's what I'm going to discuss. We were discussing different angles and what we might do. His book is about childhood, not even an actor, is a child of one of a great Western actor. And I won't get into the details, but it's a really, really multi-layered, multifaceted book. Excellent read, and I'll have the details. It's on Amazon. It's called The Ballad of Ethan Burns. And when you read the book, funny, it's hilarious at times, and then a very serious statement. But when we were thinking about making the book, we were trying to come up with what I needed for reference, his ideas. We were working together, kind of coming up with some we went over a couple different things, and then all of a sudden it hit him. He wanted to use, because we're dealing with the West and this actor getting beat up by Hollywood, he wanted to use Nick Eggenhofer, a Nick Eggenhofer book or painting that had been used for in the 30s or even the 30s for cover of a Western. So he sent me a copy of the painting, and they went through the proper copyright procedures, and he wanted to have this cowboy fight. Here's the original painting. He wanted me to come up with, and he mentioned a film strip, a movie film strip man, as if the guy that's fighting is made of movie film, and then make it look like it was painted in there, like the original painting that Nick had done, that it belonged in there. So me having my commercial art background and my knowledge of photography, I said that I should be able to come up with something. Now the first thing I needed to do is come up with the reference to get these particular shapes and bends. So what I did is took 35mm film and photographed different shapes, angles, and whatnot. I did the photo shoot of the different pieces. I probably used about 30 different shots. Then what I did is I proceeded to place them into position, and you should be able to see. I took them and
Wow.
placed them into position. Now in this thing you can see we're looking at the movie strips. Now part of it is my understanding of what I wanted to shoot as far as working as legs and arms. I knew the punching feel and the feel of the fist, and so I shot those film strips into position, then blocking them out into Photoshop came up with the guy. So when Jim initially saw the initial film guy, he really loved the action that I was getting with the film, but he felt that it needed something else for the head. So he's like, well, what about painting a movie camera? So that was the next thing I did. And I painted the movie camera in and then added the painting effect to the film strips. Now the last thing that he asked me to do is, once I had that, he wanted me to add in the comic voice box and have it say, instead of Tinseltown. But he also gave me samples of old Western comic books and paperback books, and the typeface on those he wanted to do something similar. So I searched probably about 1,000 Western typefaces to come up with this particular typeface. And then once I found it, I knew it would work. I put it in there, and initially it was white and black outline. And what he did is said that he wanted to have the yellow and red outline. And when you drop that in, there it worked. Then the last thing I did is I sent it off to him. The company that does the book, Tales to Film Presents, put their logo in so you could see what it is, and dropped in James Balestrieri down below. And he's available on Amazon for Kindle, and you can buy the paper book, the hard copy. And this is the actual cover and what it came out to be. So you can see that it's pretty much exactly as it left, except I gave them the type font, and they were able to add in what they wanted and drop in. So there's the cover. I'm extremely happy with it. I know Jim is extremely happy with it. The book's available on Amazon. It's a great read. I suggest it to anybody who sees this. It's worth reading. Either get it on your Kindle. I know it's going to be ready for iPad soon. And then also you can buy the hardcover. I'm looking forward to getting my hardcover copy. It's coming. I'll have that in a future video blog, show everybody. And then I'll also have the link to the book on the blog site. Anything to say, Xavier?
Just that the cover looks awesome, and congratulations to Jim.
Yes, congratulations, Jim. I hope there's many more book covers.
Yes. Take care, folks.
Bye.